All right, what's going on, Israel? We back in here for them Sunday night scriptures. I.S.U.P.K, North Carolina, getting it in. I'm preaching officer Ratazah, about to break them things down to you. All right. If anybody coming in, um, see, we people gonna go ahead and start coming in. I'm going on some Deuteronomy, a little bit of Jeremiah, hit that New Testament, hit that Jeremiah, hit that John in that New Testament. Okay. Uh, any questions, you know what I'm saying? Hit them in the chat. You know, we're going to get rocking and rolling. All right. Bear with me 1 second. All right. All right. So we're going to break down a little bit of Israel, keeping those commandments and how important they are. All right. If anybody coming in, if you got any questions, hit me with them in the chat. I'm rocking it out on the computer here as per usual. All right. What's going on to the two people that just came in? If y'all can hear me, I believe y'all can hear me. The mic said I'm good. If I'm too loud or anything, let me know. If I'm scratchy or y'all can't hear too well, just let me know. Fix everything. If I'm good, then we rocking and rolling. All right. Any questions, please don't be afraid to ask. I always say that every week because, growing up, we go to church every week and we can't ask the questions that, we may have going on in our everyday life or anything going on with these scriptures. We might read something and want to know the breakdown of it. But, pastors and preachers and those alike, they don't have the answers. They don't allow us to ask questions and things like that. And that's a problem. Okay. If you got any questions of this Bible too big not to have no questions, anything. Okay. So don't be afraid. There's no stupid questions. We want to educate and really let people know what this Bible's talking about. All right. You're going to get them answers right from the Bible, about the Bible, the word of the Lord for sure, broken down to you like it need be. Okay. So right now we're going to start with Deuteronomy, the 27th chapter and the first verse. All right. Then we're going to jump around to the 28th chapter, probably hit, like I said, hit a little bit of John in the New Testament and kind of get a little insight on what's going on in this place. All right. It's good to see y'all, brothers and sisters. I know when the video drop, Lord allow, we can spread this truth, get this thing rolling some more and more and more. All right. Deuteronomy 27:1. And Moses with the elders of Israel commanded the people, saying, keep all the commandments which I command you this day. When you read right here in Deuteronomy, one of the first 5 books of Moses, you got to remember now, the children of Israel were in captivity in Egypt. And the way we conducted ourselves in Egypt wasn't good. We didn't have, we were slaves in Egypt, just like we slaves today. So when you're put in that kind of condition, you are under another nation of people. What's going on? All right, Sapayar. I hope I'm saying that right. Salaki, if I may, Matthew 9:16-17. How does that apply to relationships and friendships? All right, let's go to that real quick. I said Matthew 9:16. Make sure I'm caught up with you. All right. What's going on, sis? All right. Good to see y'all up in here. All right. The brother had a question, Matthew 9:16-17. And he said, how does that apply to relationships / friendships? Shalom, sis. Y'all shema, thought about Shema, y'all shot. So Matthew 9:16 says, no man putteth a piece of new cloth unto an old garment, for that which is put in to fill it up taketh from the garment, and the rent is made worse. Verse 17, neither do men put new wine in the old bottles, else the bottles break and the wine runneth out, and the bottles perish, but they put new wine into new bottles, and both are preserved. So the brother is asking about friendships. What do you mean, if you don't mind me asking, brother? What do you mean? How does it apply to relationships and friendships? What is your question specifically about this? And you trying to say, how does it apply to that? When it talks about no man putteth a piece of new cloth unto an old garment, for that which is put in to fill it up taketh from the garment. If you think about, let's say you have a tear in your shirt or a tear in your pants, and you go to try to sew up a new piece onto that, what's going to end up happening is going to wear down. Oh, I'm sorry, sis. My bad, sis. I'm sorry. All right. Salakia, sis. I'm sorry. I'm still the names and the my bad, sis. I'm sorry. All right. So when it talks about that, you try to sew up a new piece, what's going to end up happening is the old one's going to wear down. So the more you try to put a new piece onto the worn down part, it's just going to wear and wear, and you have to add new pieces, you know. So just like the bottles in 17, when it talks about neither do men put new wine into old bottles, you're not going to put new wine into the old bottle because the bottle going to break. It's almost like when it says, and the wine runneth out and the bottles perish. Like, it's, you got to think about that. It's just the laughing. I'm sorry. It's just, that's my bad. That's my bad. I ain't trying to do that. Do you like that? All right. When you look at putting old wine into new bottles or new wine into old bottles, you can't take the truth, right? You can't have your old way of thinking and try to put the truth into that thinking. You can't be living one way and you have all this going on in your mind and then you try to put the truth in there with it. It don't work like that. You gotta clean that out. You gotta wipe out all that old wine in order to put the new wine in there. It's just as though you're doing it yourself. Okay. So verse 17, neither do men put new, oh, I'm sorry, verse 16. So I'm going back. No man putteth a piece of new cloth unto an old garment. For that which is put in to fill it up taketh from the garment, and the rent is made worse. Neither do men put new wine into old bottles, else the bottles break, and the wine runneth out, and the bottles perish. Because think about it, you got a bottle of wine, and then you go to put more new wine in with the old, it's just going to overflow. It's going to become too much, and it's going to break. But they put new wine into new bottles, and both are preserved. So now the wine is preserved because you're not mixing it with old. You're not mixing new wine with old wine. Because think about it, if you take old wine or you take uh, uh, new wine with it's going to spoil the new wine. That old wine isn't going. It can't. You're not going to preserve that new wine into this new bottle. That's why it's saying both will be preserved. So you get rid of the old bottle, you get rid of the old wine, you put new wine into a new bottle or a new vessel that truth and information is going into. Okay. So do you continue old friendships/relationships when you become a new person in Christ? That's a perfect question. And there's a couple parts in there, and I'm gonna break it all the way down for you if you bear with me. So I'm gonna check this out. So you brought us here to Matthew 9 and 16 and 17. What this is talking about is, in a nutshell, getting rid of the old you and then putting the new you in this new bottle, this new information in this new bottle, which is you. So the person you was in the world, when the person you were, and I'm not directing this specifically to you, sis. This goes for all of us. Just like me, just like the men over me, the men under me, the brothers and sisters alike, all across the board. We were once in the world doing wickedness, doing things we shouldn't have been doing, going against the Lord, and we didn't have the truth. So everything I'm saying is going to pair to what you just asked. Do you continue old friendships slash relationships when you become a new person in Christ? I'm gonna break it down. Now, when you were in the world, when all of us was in the world, we were doing things we weren't supposed to be doing. We didn't know then. So now we come into the truth. We hear about some Israelite brothers. We come into the I.S.U.P.K and get the information and the breakdowns, and we start changing our lives. We're doing the things Christ say to do, and the Lord laid down, and we stop doing the things He said for us not to do. He told us to stop getting high and eating pork. We stopped it. He told us to start, putting on our garments and women wear your dresses. Stop dressing like a hoe. Brothers, start dressing like men. Braid your hair, grow your beard, don't shave your face. Stop doing the holidays. No more Thanksgiving and Christmas. That's out the door. So as you start to change yourself, the old wine would be Thanksgiving and celebrating Thanksgiving and Christmas and getting rid of that. The old wine would be getting high, doing drugs, selling drugs. All of that is old wine that got to go. All that got to go. That's that old garment. That's that old wine that got to go. Because that bottle or that bottle and that vessel can't hold if you're doing Thanksgiving and Christmas and doing drugs and getting high and celebrating birthdays and eating whatever you want. And then you try to, at the same time, put in new wine of keeping the high holy days like Passover and Hanukkah and Feast of Unleavened Bread and these things, you know, uh, put in your spirit the new wine in. So you can't do both. You can't have this old wine and this new wine. Otherwise, the vessel or the bottle is going to break. Now, here's what's important. Once you get rid of that old wine and you start putting the new wine in, that new wine is made for a new bottle or vessel. You being brand new is what we're talking about. This is saying it's talking about you being brand new. So now, as you move through your day to day, as you walk amongst other family members or you walk amongst the world, and you're in contact with old friends and these people that you have relationships with, you're not the same person you once was. You're now a new creature in Christ. Now you're no longer so and so that used to I don't know, be in a strip club or do drugs or sell drugs or rob people and eat any shrimp crab and pork this and pork that. You're now changed and you're different now. So now when you go amongst your friends that they knew you before, they're not going to see you the same. Now, here's the thing. Here's where thin lines and things like that come into play. I got a script for you, but going around old friends and old relationships, like if if people who have old friends in the world, like I got old friends in the world that knew me before the truth and they know me now, but they don't disrespect me and they don't try to entice me or influence me to go against what this truth is. So when I go around my old friends in the world, you know, they don't try to pressure me into the things I used to do. They come around or I come around and they ask questions about the truth. Though they're not in the truth, they ask questions. They ask me how I'm doing. I say, "What's up, man? What's going on? You all right? You good? Good to see you, man." You know what I'm saying? They might ask questions about how everything going in the UPK thing, man. Everything good, bro? I'm fortunate to have people like that. Now, if you have people you go to or your old friends in the world, and they're trying to entice you to smoke weed again, or they're trying to and you entice you to, man, sis, don't worry about that truth, man. Do this or do that. You would want to stay away from them. You wouldn't want to stay around those people because those demons are trying to draw you back into the world. Now you have to recognize, are the people that knew you in the world, are they trying to draw you back in? Or when you go to see them, be it family or friends that were in the world, do they stay at bay and you're able to talk to them still, and like family members. I still talk to my mom, my sister, though they're not in the truth, I still go see them from time to time, see how they're doing, make sure everybody's good, and I go on about my business because they don't try to push me back into the world. They don't try to entice me to sin or try to get me to be the man I was. They understand that I'm walking with the Lord. I'm about this work. I'm not going to eat the same things I used to eat. I don't do the drugs I used to do. I don't celebrate birthdays and holidays, and they know that. So they know not to text me Merry Christmas and Happy Thanksgiving. They know that. My friends know not to text me Happy Birthday because they know I don't celebrate birthdays. So I'm fortunate to have those kind of friends, but you got to recognize who you dealing with. Now, as far as relationships goes, if you're talking about relationships as old uh like boyfriends and men you used to sleep with and be with, then you being new now, I wouldn't do that. I wouldn't go and be friends with somebody I used to lay with, because number one, they're not if they're not if y'all ain't together no more, then y'all not together, and it's not wise for you to go for sisters to go and hang out or be around old flames or old relationships. Now if you have a man right now, like let's say you was in the world. Now hear me good, this goes for all you sisters and brothers. If you was in the world and you have a man, so you sisters was in the world and you together with a man, and then the sister of that relationship comes into the truth, but that brother doesn't come in, you still married to that man. That's still your man. So just because a sister comes into the truth and her man who she's with doesn't come in, that's still your man. And the beautiful thing about it is, for the men too, if you a man and you come into the truth and you are with a woman, you don't just get rid of her either. So I'm answering your question, sis, but at the same time, I'm having to speak broad too to everybody. You said here, you said la sir. So is there something I'm missing? Can you help me understand what you're trying to ask if I didn't answer it correctly or if I didn't understand your question? Because when you come into the truth, you can continue friendships. You just don't want to continue the type of friendships that those friends are trying to draw you back into, the world. And then another thing too, being that a lot of brothers and sisters ain't strong either. Meaning if you're the type of brother and sister who completely cuts off friends, like you got some friends that smoke weed every day and you used to be with them every day. And when you go around them, you got the urge to do that, then just cut the friends off. Cut them off. Ain't choose this truth first. Cut them friends off. You know what I'm saying? Let them go. Let them go for the Lord. Let them go for the truth and bettering your life. Let me get two scriptures real quick too. If y'all bear with me, I'm trying to pull them. Just bear with me for 1 second. Bear with me 1 second. I got y'all. All right. So she said, oh, okay. You said la'a, it was in reference to an ex. Okay. Exactly my point. So if you and this person was together, if you and this ex of yours was together, and then we in the world, so we don't know. And when you in the world, you don't know about sex is marriage, and when you in the world, you don't know about sacrificing and how to stay with somebody or understanding the value and importance of staying with somebody. So if you a sister and you in the world and you have a man you with, and he leave you, and y'all don't keep it going and stuff like that, and then you come into the truth, y'all if y'all not you and this man aren't together, this man left you, then you don't then he left you. Now you come into the truth, you start changing, you come into class. You don't turn around and go back to the man. Like, you don't flip flop or anything, if that makes sense. You're in the truth, so you don't have a man. Now, if you decide to lay with a man, then that is your man. And there's just no ifs or buts about it. And that's why we say, when you come into the school, clean yourself for 90 days. Shake that world up off you for 90 days. Now, if you come in and you a new creature in Christ, you brand new, I would not advise you go around exes and old flames and things like that. That goes for all of us, because you don't want to go back into that again and again. That you don't want to keep going back and forth with. Bear with me. I'm reading something again. See if I could find what I was looking for. That's not it. It'll come to me. But yeah, being brand new in here, then, and you don't have a man, sis, you don't have a man. It's not that whole thing about boyfriends and exes is worldly stuff. If you came into this truth single, you single. And as far as going back, as far as coming into truth, you don't want to go hanging out with exes and old flames and old boyfriends and things like that. Same thing for you brothers. You brothers coming to the truth. Your woman left you. Don't go back. You can't go back to that woman. You can't do that. You're a brand new man. You can't flip flop. You come into this truth a single man. Let me get it real quick. Bear with me. I believe that was the polluted land. Yeah, here we go. Jeremiah. Let's go to Jeremiah 3:1. Let's go to Jeremiah 3:1. All right. But yes, sis, if you was in the world and you was with that man, if you was in the world, you was with that man, yeah, y'all were together. But then if he left you and all that, and you come into this truth, you single, no man, then you just don't have a man. You good. Because you came in yourself. You didn't come in with that man to now you got to stay with him. There's a lot of sisters, and I'm gonna keep it hot with y'all. We tell the truth in here. You come into the truth with a man, y'all together, y'all going out together, y'all sleeping together, having sex together, and you calling him and he calling you, and you some of y'all living together, all of that, using each other's car, you know what I mean? All that stuff, and going out to eat here and there, y'all together, having all that. And then one of them come into the truth. then you're still with the other person. The other person's still with you. If you come into true single, you single. Now that you're a brand new person, you are not forced to go hang out with old friends. It would be wise that you really don't. I only gave the example of myself because I'm one of the fortunate ones that I can still go around my old friends and they know what type of time I'm on. My old friends still get high, smoke weed. When I go around my old friends, yonder bar sis. And if anybody got any questions, hit me with them. All right, please. We here to fix this thing. We're here to change these lives, man. We're here to break these scriptures down, and I try my best. If I ever get long-winded, and I don't understand the question, let me know because I want to make sure that you understand exactly what you need to know. So, any other questions, please hit me with them. Anybody up in here, it does not matter what it is. The same way the truth was given to me, I want to freely give it to y'all. All right. So back to what I was saying. So I'm fortunate enough to have friends that I can still go around. Meaning, like, if a friend of mine wants to say, "Yo, man, what's going on, man? I ain't seen you in a minute. Yo, come through, man. Just wanted to just kick it with you, talk to you for a minute." When I go see them, they put the weed up. When I go around, they put it away. I come to their house or knock on their door, they put it all away. They know if they cooking food, they know I ain't on the pork or shrimp and all that. So if they offer to make me something, they make with the you know, my girl made the turkey wings with the you know, the no pork and greens. She's, everything's good for you, dog. I got you. Now these are people in the world, you know. Now again, you can't do that with everybody. You got to be wise in who you dealing with when you're dealing with old friends. Another thing too, Cap brought this out to us years ago. He was saying, it would be wise just not to deal with old friends because you never know where they're going to go with it. You don't really know somebody because if they're not in this truth, then you don't know what kind of if they have the best interest at heart for you. So it's wiser to just stay away from old friends. It's damn sure wise to if you a sister, don't go hanging out with exes and all that stuff. Ain't no such thing as guy friends. For all you sisters out there, there's no such thing as guy friends. There's no such thing as he's just a friend and no, he doesn't want to have sex with me. He's just my friend. There's nothing going on here. He don't want that. We ain't on that type of time. Sisters, I'm trying to tell you, I'm a man. I know how men think. Ain't no such thing as a male homeboy or a male friend. Doesn't exist. It don't. Especially if he a homo. If he is homosexual and he like men, he really ain't that. Meaning that really ain't no homeboy. He number one, he hates you. He hates you because he wants to be you. And number two, he will take the opportunity to try that box. Believe that. Don't get it fooled twisted out here. These gay dudes out here be having sex with these so-called homegirls. And you niggas out there, that you brothers out there that got women and they got a gay homeboy, hey man, you check the fuck out of that. Get that in line. Ain't no gay homeboys over here. You don't have homeboys. You don't have guy friends. If you a man and your woman is your woman, you her friend. You her friend, homeboy, father, all of that. Fuck that. Ain't no woman, ain't no, don't let no UPK brother, ain't no UPK brothers having a wife and they wife got a fucking homeboy. You ain't got no homeboy, no buddy, no friend. Fuck that. You confide in me. You come to me. You got an issue, come you talk to me about it. You got something going on at work at your slave, how you talk to me. You got a splinter in your toe. You got financial problems. You need to vent that worldly ass word. You need to vent. You talk to your husband. You coming to me. Fuck all that homeboy who understands me and nah, we don't do that. That ain't how real relationships and marriages are supposed to be. That's some worldly ass shit over there. Okay. So as far as knowing, you got to know what kind of friends you dealing with. That's what you got to know. And it's wiser to just not deal with old friends anyway. You got a new family right here in the UPK. You got new friends, you got new sisters and new brothers. You got new father figures you could go to. You got new mother figures you could go to. We got older sisters in here. We got young sisters in here needing to be taught right and shown the way. All of that. And hopefully those friends you got in the world will see the truth in you and see what's going on in this world and come into the truth, change their life. And then there you go. I know a captain right now, a certain captain now. Him and a brother were best friends in the world for years. And that captain came in the truth and his boy followed him into the truth. And now that captain is a captain now, and his boy is an officer of 5,000 in this truth right now. But they was best, they was like that. They was tight, in the world. They were best friends in the world and came on in and remain friends still. And guess what? The beautiful thing about that too, even deeper with that is they came in and they got rid of that old wine from back then. They know each other from the world, but they got rid of the old wine up here, got rid of that and put in the new wine in this truth. Now, can you imagine what these two did back in the world? Getting high together, doing all manner of wickedness together, you know, you know, like, and I'm not trying to demonize them. I'm just saying, we was all in the world. So their mindset was the world, you know, street life, all that drug, whatever it may be. And then they come into the truth and get rid of that thought process. Put the drugs down. Stop dealing with hoes. All of that. And put the new wine in. And now they talk about Christ. Now they teach the word of the Lord. They talk about Christ being black and the chariots coming back. They talk about this is what's on their mind now. Fixing and raising black people up and Hispanic people, getting the native Indians off the reservations, going to doing missions in Texas and on the border in Mexico, going and doing things in New York and cookouts and this is the things they do now because they took the old wine out and put the new wine in. So they themselves, just like myself and y'all can go and see you see your old friends, you know where they at. But guess what? You are not the same. So you're not going to go and be around and hang out with them like that because you're different. So again, I'm just sharing that I was fortunate to have friends who understood what I'm doing. You know what I'm saying? So it's a beautiful thing. And again, here's another thing too for all y'all listening. The I.S.U.P.K is Israelite School, the Israelite School of Universal Practical Knowledge. It's practical. It doesn't have to, it's not difficult, it's not magical. You don't have to overthink about it. What we do is very practical, is very simplified. It's a practical thing that we're doing here. So you don't have to it's always good to ask questions and get the breakdowns and just to make sure you know what you're doing and how you're doing it. That's cool. but it's always best to know and how to deal in your day to day. So nah, you sisters coming in here, you single, you single. If you a sister that come in here with a man and you come in, but your man don't come in the truth, that's still your man. For you brothers coming in, brothers, if you come in here single, you single. If you a brother that come into this truth and you have a woman, but that woman don't come into the truth, that's still your woman. Now, if that woman decide to leave you and go be with another man, then brother, she left you. You did your part. She left you. You didn't leave her. For the sisters, if your man leave you, decides to throw you away, he threw you away. But be honest too, for you brothers and sisters. Don't, you come into the truth and we find out you got a man, or we find out, brothers, you have a wife, then we know that. But we're honest in here. So if that man throws that sister away, or that a woman leaves that man, we'll know that too. All right. Well, shalom, sis. Yashma Tabashim Shah. All right. Glad to see y'all up in here. So just keep that in mind for anybody that may not know. All right. And coming in this truth is a beautiful thing. And represent it too. That's another thing. Represent the truth. When people look at you, they see in Christ. They see in Christ in you. When you in the I.S.U.P.K, I ain't talking about them other Israelite groups now. Christ and Lord ain't with them. Lord ain't with them, man. But in here, represent Christ. Represent the body every day. Conduct yourself in that manner because people are watching. You don't know who watching. Like right now, I'm glad to see y'all brothers and sisters up in here, but I don't know what y'all look like. I ain't never met y'all, but y'all watching. And that's the beautiful part. Again, any questions, please hit us with the questions. Tonight, we every Sunday night scriptures. This is it's not a specific topic based class. This is open for any questions scripturally. If you got any questions, period, you are more than welcome to type them in the chat. I encourage you to ask questions. Okay, and if I cannot answer the questions tonight, I'll definitely get your question next weekend or the following week, so on and so forth. You can check out General Mahaiman's class. We got classes every day. So I encourage you to ask questions. I don't want anybody to be afraid. Please, because I knew growing up, pastors and people who claim to know the Bible and know to know what they think they're talking about, they never answer questions. And I had some questions growing up. And I wanted the Bible to be true as I thought it was, and it is. But pastors and them never answer questions. So I'm glad y'all rocking it out with me. All right. So let me pull that Jeremiah 3:1. All right. Jeremiah 3:1. Let's get these scriptures popping. Jeremiah 3:1. All right. They say, if a man put away his wife and she go from him and become another man's, shall he return unto her again? I'm going to read it again. They say, if a man put away his wife and she go from him and become another man's, shall he return unto her again? Shall not that land be greatly polluted? That's another question. But thou hast played the harlot with many lovers, yet return again to me, saith the Lord. So now, this is talking about, meaning like us playing the whore. Now, if a woman goes and lays with she has a husband and she goes and lays with another man, then that woman whored on that man. So now that man and woman that was once together, that woman went and laid with another man That woman is no longer with this first man. She left him. Is it right? Is it okay for that man, that first man, to have to take back the woman that left him? Nah, you can't do that. That's why it's asking the question, wouldn't that land be greatly polluted? It would be, because that woman left this man and got another one. Now that man's, you know, DNA is now in this woman. They have became one flesh now and severed this one over here. This one, these, they're no longer together. She left, whored on him, and got with this man. Well, that's what we did as a nation of people to the Lord. We played the harlot to the Lord. We went and joined everybody else. We went and played the harlot on the Lord. As a nation of people, as he chose us and raised us up and made us a great and mighty people, we chose to go and deal with Caucasians and to go live like them. We chose to see what this Chinese Buddha was about. We chose to go see what this Arab God and this hamdulillah and all that. We decided to throw on dashikis and shave our heads and go into Africa and get all with them. So we played the harlot on the Lord and went against the Lord and started doing what the other nations was doing and joining unto them, just like a woman would do by leaving her man. So should a man take that whore back? Man can't take that whore back. So now verse 2 says, lift up thine eyes unto the high places and see where thou hast not been lean with. In the ways hast thou set for them as the Arabian in the wilderness, and thou hast polluted the land with thy whoredoms and with thy wickedness. So now, how does this relate to us as a whole? You got to think about a nation of people as a whole. A nation of people as a whole. We done went off from the Lord, and the Lord cut us off, which is what happens when a woman lays with another man. That man cuts her off. She's out. She's essentially dead to that man. She don't exist. However, when the 9.5 went off, the 9.5 tribes went off, Judah, Benjamin, and Levi, or parts of Levi, went off also. I know I'm kind of running through it, but I only got so much time. So if you got any questions about what I'm saying, just let me know. So now the whole nation done went off. So when the kingdom was split, the northern kingdom went off. They cut off. But then Judah, Benjamin, and parts of Levi went off. So because they all messed up, the Lord made a decision. I'm gonna give them an opportunity for all of them to come back. And by Christ dying for the nation of Israel, allowed all of Israel to come back. So now that all of Israel gets an opportunity to come back, you have to examine, when is that time? Where is that grace period where we have an opportunity to come back to the Lord? So now that's now. Now here we are right now, where this is the time for us to show the Most High that we are doing what he's saying to do because we want to come back to him. Now, you start, like I said earlier, by changing what you eat according to the Bible, changing how you dress, changing, not celebrating these holidays. You hear it every week. These brothers be breaking it down heavy. They're saying it and repeating it over and over and over again because it has to be drilled. Otherwise, you're going to have Satan and the demons trying to push all that other stuff on you too. Remember, Satan and his demons know how to fight too. So they're warring and finding ways to get you in your mind every chance they get. Any chance a demon can get you to do something and Satan can convince you to go against the Lord, that's when you got to tell Satan, hell no. Tell them demons no. And what do? Weigh it with the scriptures. If something in your mind says to you, in your mind, man, like if you a sister, and something in your mind goes, man, I miss the way he used to talk to me. Man, I miss the way my ex used to say such or do such and such. Or maybe I should give him another chance. Maybe I should take go back to him. Or some of you brothers be like, damn, I miss the way she used to do that thing. Or man, maybe it won't. Maybe she didn't do what she. Maybe she was just trying to make me feel bad when she said she was messing with that dude. She was probably just saying that. Those conversations like that are demons talking to you, and you can't allow that to happen. You can't allow that to happen. You got to recognize and weigh it with what we're reading. Another thing, you might be like, man, I could smoke one more time. That ain't gonna hurt nobody. Can't do that. You got to weigh it with the scriptures. Is it okay to smoke weed and get high? No. So you know that weighing it with the words of the Lord, I can't do that. Weighing it, I'm as a brother, man, I done seen all the text messages and all the stuff about her messing with that other dude. Man, sis just trying to, you know what I'm saying? She just trying to fix and change herself, man. I should give her another chance. Hell no, dog. No, that's demons talking to you so you can go back and get with her and lay with her again. You know what's gonna happen when you lay with her again? You're gonna get herpes or something. And anybody that has that, I'm not picking on you. I'm just saying that for the severity or the repercussions to the choices you make, that could happen to you. Okay, so anybody that got that, I'm not picking on you. I'm just saying, you go back and you brothers go back and lay with a woman and catch AIDS, HIVs. You shouldn't have took her back because she whored with another man. And the scriptures say you can't take her back. So if you weigh it and go, I know this woman whored on me. The Lord said I can't take her back. Don't take her back. Because if you then take her back and catch a disease you can't get rid of, then you would have never got that disease if you hearkened unto the Lord. That's what we was about to read in Deuteronomy 27:1. You see, everything, every action, every choice you make comes with something. Every action you make is either going to bring something good or something bad. And then in your mind, there's a balance, there's a weight here. Which one you gonna pick? You gotta choose the right thing. If you don't know what to choose, you ultimately don't really know what to choose. Call up one of the brothers, call up one of the officers, talk to your camp leader, hit up, type up in this class. You know what I'm saying? We gonna make sure you straight. Okay. So just like you gotta fight, we gotta fight. All right. So we're gonna go back to Deuteronomy 27:1. Okay. Deuteronomy 27:1 says, and Moses with the elders of Israel commanded the people, saying, keep all the commandments which I command you this day. All right. So now, commanding the people, who's the people? The children of Israel. He's talking to them, because if we keep this thing, we the ones that's going to be straight. It don't matter if the other nations keep what this is talking about, because this ain't for them. We got to be the ones to keep it. And then we're going to instruct them on how to make sure they're doing what they're supposed to do under our authority. The whole Chinese world, the whole Arab world could try to keep this law. It don't mean nothing, because it wasn't for them to keep. This says Moses with the elders of Israel commanded the people, saying, keep all the commandments which I command you this day. If you drop down to verse 9, it says, verse 9 says, and Moses and the priests, the Levites, spake unto all Israel, saying, take heed and hearken, O Israel, this day thou art become the people of the Lord thy God. Verse 10, thou shalt therefore obey the voice of the Lord thy God and do his commandments and his statutes, which I command thee this day. This is all talking about Israel. When you go, like I said earlier, when you go into the New Testament, these are the things that the prophets of the New Testament were reading from and going by. Remember, when the New Testament was happening in real time, there was no New Testament because it was happening in real time. So just like right now, if we're recording this video, this class, it's happening in real time right now. But in a week or in 2 weeks or in a year, you can then go back to what I'm saying right now and get the information that's being brought out from my words on this video. Well, at that time, when Matthew, Mark, and John and Peter and them were, when it was happening, all they had was the Old Testament. That's why you read a lot about as it is written or what was written aforetime. They're talking that way because they're reading from what we call today the Old Testament. So they're reading these laws and believing, them Sadducees and Pharisees are believing they know the law, or forgive me, they believe they're doing and knowing this, and they're not. They were the ones coming up with different laws of their own. They were the ones not understanding what this was talking about. So when Christ hit the scene, that's when he started dropping it on them, cutting them, telling them this is what this means, telling them this is what the Sabbath means, telling them this is how you deal with the money. This is how you deal with serving God. Then he was calling them all kinds of names and things like that and checking them on stuff and whipping them out the temple and flipping the table. All this stuff that was going on because they didn't understand what this thing is. So now we're reading it today, and we're able to take that thing, take what was of old, and now we got that New Testament with Christ, and they go hand in hand. It go together. There's nothing flip-floppy about it. So when you read the books of Moses and what it was talking about, you can see where the reference points are. You can see where they were saying the same thing in the New Testament about the old. You can see where nothing changed from the old to the new because again, they didn't have a New Testament in real time when the New Testament was happening. Okay. So Deuteronomy 28:1 says, and it shall come to pass, if thou shalt hearken diligently unto the voice of the Lord thy God, to observe and to do all his commandments, which I command thee this day, that the Lord thy God will set thee on high above all nations of the earth. Now, I'm sure many of us heard this. We done heard this before, time and time again. But this is the thing that's going to keep us straight. That's the thing that's going to make sure we good. Okay. That's the thing that's going to keep us on top and them on the bottom. It's very practical, very plain and simple. Okay. And these things, when you read these different things, you're going to start to see, like, okay, that's how I apply that to my life. You know, that's how I can use that to make sure I don't fall into this. That's how I use this to fight against the demons trying to get me killed. Okay. And that's ultimately what comes into play. Demons just trying to get you killed. Demons trying to get you to ruin your life. And not and oftentimes, you know, is it could mean suffering or dying. There is both death. Both of those are death. If you eat pork and you got to get a foot cut off and you eating all the wrong manner of food and your body isn't made to handle that, and you get a foot cut off, brother, that's some hell. You got to be hooked up to machines and get you know, blood, this dialysis, that, and you don't have any feet. Yeah, that's you in hell, bro. You can't walk. You lost a foot and a leg because you couldn't put the pork down. You caught cancer because of the things you eat. Not nah. We ain't about to go through that. Okay. So when you drop down to verse 15, Deuteronomy 28 and 15, but it shall come to pass if thou wilt not hearken unto the voice of the Lord thy God to observe to do all his commandments and his statutes, which I command thee this day, that all these curses shall come upon thee and overtake thee. Now he's about to break down. The Lord's trying to break down what's going to happen to us if we don't listen to him. And when you go and read this whole thing, it only talks about one people. When you go and break it all the way down, it talks about one specific group of people. And those Israelites are the ones that you can read this and see it happening in reality in front of your face. All right. So bear with me. We're going to carry over to Proverbs 1 and 22. Proverbs chapter 1, verse 22. How long, ye simple ones, will ye love simplicity, and the scorners delight in their scorning, and fools hate knowledge? There's two questions here. When it says, how long, ye simple ones, will ye love simplicity? Meaning, like, simplicity would be, this question here is asking, like, how long are you going to love simplicity? Like, how long are you going to go for that smoking weed isn't a bad thing? How long are you going to go for that? That is just a plant. Nothing wrong with smoking a little weed. That's simplicity. That's simplicity. How long are we going to fall for that shit? Hey, you know what I'm saying? Ain't nothing wrong. Ain't nothing wrong. Hey, telling sisters that it's okay to have multiple men, have sex with multiple men. Telling little girls it's okay to dress how you want. Telling little boys, putting dresses on them. Oh, it's just a dress. It don't matter. He okay. He could put heels on. How long are we going to be simple-minded? How long are we going to be simple? Dwayne Wade and his son trying to be a woman, simple-minded. How long, ye simple ones? The Lord is saying we simple. We stupid. We slow. We stupid. How long, ye simple ones, are you going to love simplicity? How long are we going to shuck and jive? How long are we going to fall for the same old bullshit every day? Like the Boondocks did that. The Boondocks did that episode with R. Kelly, where we know R. Kelly was pissing on girls and all this on tape and doing all this manner of wickedness with young girls, and yet we as a people still love him. We still like him. As a people, we still fuck with R. Kelly. Why? Why are we glorifying pedophiles? Why are we okay? And why are we taking it so light that this man was able to do this for decades? How long are we going to love simplicity? That's why the Boondocks made a joke about it. When he started singing, all the niggas started dancing and loving him, and then Huey was like, "What's wrong with y'all? Why y'all keep loving this dude, man? This dude keep doing the same shit." That goes for everything. How long are we going to glorify the people who dumb down what we are? How long are we going to glorify and love the simplicity of things? People who go on the internet and talk crazy and have us make our nation of people look a certain way. When them Arabs record old black men who are clearly on drugs and destroyed and at the lowest they could be, and they record these black men trying to sing a certain way, or like they can't, they make fun of them, so they're recording them behind the counter and putting them up on the internet and shaming those black men. Those are kings, man. Those are princes of the Lord right there. And them heathens go and take a camera and record them black men like that to shame us, man. But we yuck that shit up and laugh at our own Clearly, that brother's destroyed and hurt and going through something. But we don't see how simple we can be to see that and laugh. And in reality, that's somebody's brother or son or grandfather who's destroyed by the very people who's sitting there recording that man. Every day, them niggas go in there. Every day, niggas walk in and out that store, buying drugs from them, getting high from them Arabs and them East Indians, and they do that to them. We gotta start thinking about what's really happening to us every day because we don't see it like that. We think it's funny. That shit ain't funny because that man should not only be off the drugs, but be strong in his old age. Them sisters that be on drugs, people making fun of in these neighborhoods fucked up like that. That ain't funny. That ain't funny, man. Because let it be in reverse. Let the East Indian, we can't even fathom it. Let an East Indian crackhead, you can't even put that together. Let an Arab be on camera and somebody they doing him, they ain't gonna do their own like that. But they willing to make you look like that. So he's saying, how long ye simple ones will ye love simplicity and the scorners delight in their scorning? You gonna delight in your wickedness. You delighting in what you doing. You cool with it. You know, this my life. This my body. This my life. I do what I want with my life. This my life. This ain't your life. Christ died for you. You owe him. You in debt. He died to give that grace for that grace period to be here. He died for you. So your life ain't yours. Your life is you in debt. Now, what you gonna do with that? Because that time that you in debt to that, eventually that grace period gonna get cut off. And if you didn't pay that debt up, you didn't put no money down, you didn't serve the Lord like you were supposed to. You didn't put the work in, put the brick in, just like your phone get cut off and that car get repoed, you're gonna die. You're gonna die. You ain't making it in that kingdom. But this is your opportunity to fix yourself and change your life and get up in that thing. Get up in the kingdom. Don't allow something as simple as drugs, something as simple as some hoes, something as simple as some white man or some East Indian man or some Arab African something. Don't allow social media. Don't allow what's something else? Black people getting high, all of that. Don't allow something like that to take away your spot in that kingdom. Something as simple as that, you can fight and conquer them things. Okay. And fools hate knowledge. That's a question. How long are we going? Like fools hate knowledge. We bringing it out every day. Sister just asked a question up in here tonight because she wanted to know something. She wanted the knowledge on how to deal. She pulled a scripture, and the scripture was a metaphor for something else. So she's asking, how can this relate to friends and this, and then getting it understood. Like, okay, with the specific of question, now you know how to deal with friends and people you used to deal with, and you gotta break down on the script and an understanding of like how to what this mean. That's knowledge. So she's not being foolish. Just like brothers and sisters coming in and learning and taking that time. You not being foolish, but fools hate knowledge. You hear the word of the Lord, you hear the not, but you reject it. Why? Because you can't live the life you want to live. You want to keep the old wine in there. That new wine and that knowledge can't get in if you keeping everything old in there. Otherwise, the vessel gonna break. It can't hold both. So that's why it's saying, how long, ye simple ones, will ye love simplicity, and the scorners delight in their scorning, and fools hate knowledge? Verse 23, turn you at my reproof. Behold, I will pour out my spirit unto you. I will make known my words unto you. So the Lord's saying, he's trying to give you the spirit that you need, you should have. He's trying to make his words known unto you. Like when you hear the priest and prophet speak, no matter how redundant it might be, let me make sure I'm using that word right. Because I used the word one the other day and it was completely wrong, and I had to go back on it. Let me see something. Right. So for us, you might hear what we saying, and it's like redundant. Like you heard it time and time again. You don't need that. That's not true. We gotta hear this thing over and over again. We gotta hear and learn and listen. These are the words that the Lord is trying to give to you. These are the words that we need. This is the knowledge and information that we must have, and it gotta be sown into us. It has to be in here, embedded in there, to where nothing else matters unless this thing gets taken care of first. We don't have the kingdom yet. We can't party yet. And understand what I'm trying to say. We're still in this captivity in hell. The party time is not yet. We got a lot of work to do. And if you listening to what I'm saying, you must, you must, you must, you must keep this truth in you. Do not let this truth go. You not only are you indebted with your life, but you must keep this thing. Do not let it go. It's the only thing left. It's the only thing that's going to keep you and keep your nation. And if you love the Lord like we do in the UPK, if you love the Most High like we do in the UPK, if you love your brothers and your sisters and you love them babies coming up, if you do, then keep this thing. Perfect it in yourself. Become the best sister who makes the best garments, the best sister who makes the best food of whatever you make. Us brothers, we try our best to be the best speakers at camp, the best readers at camp, the best brothers breaking down the scripts, the best brothers in brotherhood, the best. We are we try to. Here's what I'm saying. Every day we're trying to do this. We're trying to better this and better this and better this. And we are being perfect. I'm not saying, oh, we're trying to be perfect. We're trying to be better. We are that better. We are that better. That's what I'm saying. So if I know I'm over here and my speaking is right here, I'm gonna try this and make it here. I'm perfecting it every day. It's a constant. We perfect in here. Yeah, there are perfect men in the earth today holding this thing down. And guess what? Satan come along, try to get you out the game and not be perfect and try to make you think or feel some shit. No sweat. I got captains I can call. I got my camp leader I can call. I got my brother I can call. And then me and him gonna fight whatever that thing is so we can stay perfect. That's the point. So if anybody asks me or asks my brothers, and they be like, y'all keep the law for real? I'll put yes, we keep that thing. We keep it perfectly. because we know how to deal. Like the sister asked tonight, she asking because maybe Satan trying to mess with her. Maybe Satan talking, whatever, saying whatever going on. So she asking, yo, how do I deal with this thing? Maybe not. I'm not trying to put the sister on blast. I'm just saying. She asking for clarification. And now she got the clarification. This is how you deal with that. Cool. Now she's hearkening to that, taking it, and we good. Man, I'm telling you, Satan gonna keep trying and trying and trying, but we gotta fight that thing. That's because the Lord's trying to put the spirit on you. The Lord's trying to wake you up and let you know what it is. The Lord trying to put the words through the prophets onto you. Through the prophets, the Lord's trying to let you know. Just like prophets had to let me know. And so I stepped up to the plate, and then they monitored and checked me and corrected me and shown me and read and did this. Now I've been allowed to tell you. So you brothers listening, it's your chance to do the same thing. I remember I asked Commander General Yohana. I said, hey man, I said, yeah, so what do I do now? I found out about you guys, called in his radio show. I found out about you guys. So like, what's the next move? What do I do now? He said, it's time for you to answer that call. It's time for you to answer the call and become what the Lord is wanting you to be. And then he asked me, do you have classes in your area? I was like, no. And then the dude, 9 years later, here we go. So, anybody coming in now, same thing for you. You hearing it, now you got to go do it. And it ain't hard. It ain't grievous to do this thing. Come on and find out. All right. So verse 24. So Proverbs 1:24. Because I have called and ye refused, I have stretched out my hand and no man regarded. You see what I'm saying? So the Lord's trying to get us in this thing. The Lord's trying to say, I'm calling you. I'm reaching out to you to come on in. Be in this truth. Hear my words. Do what I'm saying to do. He's trying to, but what happened? It says, I've stretched out my hand and no man regarded it. Don't be that person. Don't be one that don't regard what this is. Remember what when you came in here. Why did you come in this truth? You came in this truth to serve God. You came in this truth to serve the Most High and to learn how to do it by what Christ said. And he showed us how to execute that law in righteousness. Everything, Satan gonna throw everything your way. Everything to kind of blind you and make you think this isn't what it is. Why did you come in here? Why did you come into the think about that as you hear my voice? Why did you come into the truth? Why? You came to serve the Lord. You didn't come here to be some super duper superstar. You heard the words when Christ said, my sheep hear my voice. You heard them words and you came up in here. Remember that. And then everything else will take care of itself. Stick to that thing and you'll be all right. Okay. What I just read, verse 24. Okay, verse 25, Proverbs 1:25. But ye have set at naught all my counsel and would none of my reproof. Meaning he stretched out his hand. He calling on to you. He trying to let you know. The Lord trying to call upon you. He's trying to give you the word of the Lord. He trying to let you know what's going on. And guess what? No man regarded. So then what happened? But ye have set at naught all my counsel and with none of my reproof. Meaning when you hear that you can't do something, we didn't do that. We didn't like it. Oh, I don't want to hear that, man. Nah, brother, listen. You can't do this. Sis, you can't do this. Nah, I'm going to go do that anyway. We didn't want the reproof. We didn't want to get cleaned up. Hey, listen, brother, you must do this. Sister, you must do this. Don't go and do that thing. Do what the Lord's saying to do. Well, nah, I'm gonna go do that, or I'm gonna whatever. Don't do that, sis. Don't do that, brother. Nah, I'm gonna you taking on your own counsel. You didn't listen to the counsel of the Lord. That's why he said, "But ye have set at naught all my counsel." What we're bringing to you is counseling. It's like it's you got to keep taking the correction, the reproof, and mold it into who you are. Change every fiber of your DNA into the person that the Lord is trying to get you to be. And once you can do that, then we'll have the best you, meaning the Lord. The Lord will have the best you. You take away, you drink too much and you a drunker. The moment you stop doing all that drinking, you're gonna be the best you. You take away the drugs, take away the pornography, take away the sleeping with whores, take away the celebrating of holidays and Christmas and Thanksgiving, take away the what's it called? Stuff we do, all the wickedness we doing. The moment you take that thing away and reprove, you'll be the best you, and the Lord will have the best you. All right. But ye have set at naught all my counsel and would none of my reproof. Verse 26. I also will laugh at your calamity. I will mock when your fear cometh. And that's one of the heaviest things, because even in the constant calling and the constant reaching out and the constant reproof and the counsel over and over and over again, the trying to get you to do the right thing. When that calamity comes, let's look up calamity for those that don't know. Calamity, an event causing great and often sudden damage or distress, a disaster. So when your life starts taking that turn for the worse, and your life starts turning into calamity and disaster, and all these things are happening to you, you knew you were supposed to pay them tithes, 10% after taxes. You make you make $500 a week, and you get, or 500, or let's say $1,000 every 2 weeks, and that $1,000 hits your bank account after taxes. Now that's $100 that's supposed to go to the school. That's your tithes. You don't pay that. You knew you were supposed to pay that. That's still a law too. You ain't pay your tithes. Okay. Now, when both of them tires blow out on your car, and you driving to work, you trying to go to your job, and both of them tires blow out, boom, boom, blah, 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 blah. Now you got them, you blah, 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 blah. You driving down the road and both of them tires blew out. Now you late to work. You ain't got two tires and you don't have the money to get them two tires, or you got to spend $180 or $200 for new tires. Is anything can happen like that. You ain't paid them tithes, and you skip them tithes payment. Next thing you know, that water heater go out. You ain't paid them tithes. You didn't do your 10% like you were supposed to by law. Next thing you know, your air conditioning system run out, or your air condition, that heat, that AC blow out in the middle of the summer. Now you got to pay 1,500 to get the AC fixed. That's how those things. So now that you in distress and all this stuff, because you didn't do what the Lord said to do. I'm just using tithes as an example, because that's something that everybody loved this money for some reason like that. Everybody can't pay 10%. Just pay it and then take the rest of the money and do what you got to do. Ain't that difficult? And if you notice, and here's another thing: pay your tithes, everything will be okay. Just look at it like that. Oh, I can't pay the tithes because if I pay the tithes, I'm not going to pay my bill. And bitch, but you about to go get a bottle of liquor with the same $100? Oh, I can't pay my tithe. I pay my tithes. Then I'm not gonna be able to do this. And please, the Lord said 10%. He could have said 80%, but he said 10%. All right. So we're gonna go over to 2 Timothy 2 and 15. All right. We got about 15 more minutes up in here. Again, if anybody got any questions, please come on with it. Okay, don't be afraid to ask. Where that 2 Timothy at? All right. All right. All right. So 2 Timothy 2 and 15. Study to show thyself approved unto God, a workman that needeth not to be ashamed, rightly dividing the word of truth. That's what we should all be doing. Study to show thyself approved. Now, does that mean just read the words of the Lord and then that's it? Study. When you go to study something, just like in school, you study something and you're studying it, you take it and you apply it. Okay. If you go to medical school or you go to whatever bachelor's, whatever degree, this and whatever, you're taking that information and applying it to get a degree to go do that, get that degree to go do that profession. Same thing here. We're studying this record in this Bible to go and do in action. So if I study this to show myself approved, I'm studying so I can then take these words, apply it in my life, and now I'm gonna show who? I'm gonna show the Lord. And by showing the Lord that I'm doing what he said to do, I ain't ashamed in that. I'm not ashamed to wear a headpiece, you know. I'm not ashamed to put on a garment, throw on a garment with the shield of David that you see behind me, a shield of David on there. I'm not ashamed to take one of these chalices things, one of these cups, and put frank and myrrh in here and burn the frank and myrrh. I'm not afraid to have the menorah that you see right here and do the high holy days that go, when we light the candles in the menorah. Ain't no shame in these things because we know that studying to show yourself approved works, and that's what is what we must do. Okay. So when it says rightly dividing the word of truth, rightly dividing doesn't mean like one group of people, Christians over here, and then you got another group of Christians over here, and dividing the truth. It's not what it's talking about. It's not saying the Jehovah's Witness divided over here, and then Episcopalians and them have it over here, and then Islam has it over here. That's not what dividing the truth means. Just rightly dividing the word of truth is like it's saying to study. When you go through these records and you learning and you applying and you're teaching this thing, you're not dividing it like in religions and all this other stuff. You're rightly learning and getting the breakdown, getting the word of the Lord. You're rightly you're studying to show yourself approved, and you're not ashamed in it as you learn. As you take the words of the Lord in, you apply it. So if I learn that I can't eat pork anymore, then when I go to the store, I'm not going to buy a pork ribs. I'm not going to buy ham or pork butt or something. If I learn that, okay, now I'm a man of the Lord, I've been given an office. I must fulfill this office. Then I have to go and teach people, hey, bro, you shouldn't be smoking weed, dog. You know what I'm saying? That ain't good. Man, why not, bro? It ain't nothing, bro. If I get high, bro, that's on me, dog. Now I gotta be studied up to then tell this brother why he can't do that. A sister that is in a strip club or selling her body for money, he says, let me holler at you. Why you doing that? Oh, well, I need to make my money for my kids, and I gotta be studied up enough and learn and taking that. And it says this why you shouldn't do that. Selling your body, you could catch these kind of diseases. You're dealing with this kind of life. You putting your kids at risk. What if something happens to you? Now the kids don't have no mother. Come up into school, we'll show you how to live a life where you don't have to sell your body to make money. It says come down. You know what I'm saying? Come down and learn this thing. Now that she starts to change her life, and now she's selling, garments now. So instead of her selling her body for $60 or $40 or whatever, or stripping at a strip club, selling her ass and dealing with that life, now she can sell war garments. She didn't even know, she didn't even know that she had the ability to sew like that. Now this girl taking, she's sewing things in the most professional of ways. Now, guess what? Now she done found a skill that she actually likes, and she's making war garments for men of God now. When at one time she was selling her body, now she making garments for men of God. Now she brothers done bought so many garments from her. Not only does she have the influx of money and the financial means, now she done started a business. Now she done ventured off past garments. Now she done learned how to make other stuff. Now she making satchels and all whatever. Took that, and then you see what I'm saying. So just an example. And brothers alike, brothers come in here and get a skill, learn how to do something, and they don't realize they don't have to sell drugs to feed their family no more. They taking skills that they would have never been able to bring out had they not got away from that oppression that they were going through. So studying to show yourself approved is a beautiful thing. Okay. Um, we're gonna go over to Proverbs 12 and 15. Go back to Proverbs 12 and 15 real quick. All right. If anybody got any questions, again, I say it probably every 10 or 15 minutes. If anybody got any questions, man, come on with them. I love questions because I love that y'all, are able to ask and get the answers to these questions, man. I'm like, okay, what's your question? What you want to know? That's one of my, I like that. All right. So Proverbs 12 and 15. Let me get there. Proverbs 12 and 15. The way of a fool is right in his own eyes, but he that hearkeneth unto counsel is wise. So it's saying, I brought this up to say again what we're saying. Oftentimes we think what's good for us is better. When you get the counseling or the understanding of what you should do, that is wise. Anytime you think, well, no, I think this will be better for me. When a man of the Lord is telling you to do this thing, go with what the man of the Lord is telling you. I'll be straight up with y'all. There has never, I tell you, there's never been a time, never, where a man of the Lord in the U.P.K has told me, do this, and it was wrong. There's never been a time that a man of the Lord said, brother, do this, and it was wrong. It's always been on point. And maybe half out of all the counseling and direction, I'll probably say half of it, an honest half of it, I was like, that ain't gonna work. Because I'm thinking about me. And I'm like, that ain't no way that's gonna work. But I did what the men of over me said to do, and even though I was doubting it, I still did what was asked or what was told, and it worked. Never, when a man of the Lord gives you instruction, when the man of the Lord is telling you, do this, do this thing, it'll work. It's gonna work. It doesn't fail because it's not that man wanting some type of personal gain for him. The man is wanting it's coming from the Lord. I'm not trying to make it magical, but it's coming from the Lord. The Lord's telling you through this man of God, sis, do this. Don't do what you think you want to do. Do this. And every single time a brother or a sister goes and does their own thing, they messed up. Sometimes brothers might or sisters might go and do their own thing, mess up, but it's not so much where detriment happens or a life altering thing happens. They didn't do it, and then they had to learn the hard way, but it was enough for them to learn the hard way and walk it back and learn, yeah, don't do that shit again. But there's some of us who did not listen to the men of the Lord or not listen to the wise counsel, and they're either dead and gone or they're messed up now or something. So don't be the person when the man of the Lord says, just do this, do that. Because obviously, and feel me on this, y'all. I'm not saying if somebody says, wash my car, like I'm not saying personal shit like that. I'm talking about real life, real counseling, life stuff, life changing, real deal things in your life so you could be better. That's the Lord trying to tell you what to do through the men of the Lord. Get that counseling. Don't be ashamed. We done heard it all. Men in here done heard. A lot of us done been through a lot. So there's nothing that we're gonna hear or be said that's so like crazy. Okay, we're doing this job. The Lord allowed us to have the truth. We're trying to give it to the nation of Israel. You blacks, Hispanics, Native Indians, we're trying to do like this and have a nation together. We're not trying to be all straggled along and, oh, I'm a priestly prophet, so I'm better than you. I had to learn and change too. So we're trying to build something here. All right. So Proverbs 12 and 15. The way of a fool is right in his own eyes. A fool would think, man, my way is better. I'm gonna do what I want to do. No, nah, lie, sir. I don't know. I ain't gonna do that. I'm gonna go do this. Don't do that. Don't even if you have the thought of it, like, nah, I don't think that's gonna work. But I'm gonna do what he said to do. You good. I'm gonna do what he said to do. I'm gonna do what for you sisters that got a husband in righteousness. I'm gonna do what he said to do. And if you got a husband that's not in the truth, still listen to your husband. Don't do no wickedness though. If your husband tell you and he's not in the truth, and your husband tell you to go sell drugs, don't do that. Come and get some counseling. Here we go. Come and get some counseling from the men of the Lord on what to do. Because you don't want to go and don't want to do that. Don't want to do that. Okay. So I'm not saying if your man is in the world and not in the truth, I'm not saying go listen to your man and go sell drugs and shoot people. I'm not saying that. I'm talking about foolish people and wise people. Okay. So a man, oh, excuse me. The way of a fool is right in his own eyes, but he that hearkeneth unto counsel is wise, because that hearkeneth unto the counsel comes from the Lord. And that's why oftentimes you don't see or understand it. But don't be a fool in thinking your own mind is better than the wisdom of the Lord, of the counsel from the wise men or from the knowledgeable men. Okay. It's wise to get that counseling. So I've been in counsels, I got cursed out and all that stuff. And guess what? All of that it wasn't true, because it's made to, what you get is to direct you in the right way. The cursing out part was just trying the spirit, so to say. But as we see, the it works. Because I'm telling you, a lot of times, even for myself, like I said, half of the stuff, probably half of it, I was like, I don't think that's gonna work. But it does. You just gotta try it for yourself. All right. So we're gonna get two. We got two more scripts. If anybody got any questions before we roll out, please type them up in the chat. I'll be glad to take them. No issue. Throw out of the Zion Most High Christ. Um, anything? Let me see. I'm gonna pull two more scripts and we'll get up out of here. Okay. We're gonna go to Jeremiah chapter 1, verse 5. Jeremiah 1 and 5. Jeremiah chapter 1 and verse 5. Now, the reason I'm bringing this out is because it's more going into the Lord, you and or us and the Most High. The reason I was about to say you was because of what I'm about to read. All right. So Jeremiah 1 and 5. Let's start at verse 4. Jeremiah 1 and 4. Then the word of the Lord came unto me, saying, before I formed thee in the belly, I knew thee. And before thou camest forth out of the womb, I sanctified thee. And I ordained thee a prophet unto the nations. So, what this is saying is the Lord knows you. The Lord is the one that made you. The Lord is the one that made your spirit and put it into this body. He knew you from the beginning. He already knows how you get down. He already knew he was going to make you a prophet. He already knew what you was about. He made you. So when it says, before I formed thee in the belly, I knew thee. I already knew you. Know what type of time you on. He know how you was before, when you was here before. He know how you are when he made you in the womb. So, and before thou camest forth out of the womb, I sanctified thee. Before you even born, the Lord knew what time it was for you. Now, for them prophets being subject to prophets, he already knew what you was. Now, you coming out the womb and growing up, you don't know you a prophet. You don't know you back in the earth for this thing, for this truth. We the saints here and getting it in and, learning and growing. Lord already knew. You growing up as a kid, you a teenager, you become a young man, you wondering what this world and all this is about. You come into the truth and you, next thing you know, you teaching on a camera with I.S.U.P.K banner behind you. Didn't know this was going to be this like this. One of the coldest and coolest sayings from my dear brother. I don't want to put him on blast. I don't want to out him, but my dear brother, he said, "You can't make this up." He said, I couldn't write this thing." He said, "Hey, I ain't write this thing. This ain't, you know, I can't, I couldn't write this thing. There's something about one day you somewhere on a street corner selling drugs and going in and out of jail, and next thing you know, you surrounded by hundreds of people who are together, and you have a family, and you don't even 1 minute you are on a street corner in the dead of night, cold, trying to sell drugs to feed your family. And the next minute, you are surrounded by people who don't do any of that, who have your back. You have a family. You have multiple children. Everybody's eating good, healthy. Your finances are good. Your health is good. You don't look over your shoulder for police to lock you up. and fireworks are going off, in the sky, and the people around you are just celebrating and are thankful and happy that you are standing next to them. I don't know, man. I don't know what to tell you. I don't. There's a certain life that the Lord wants you to have, and I pray that you brothers and sisters take that, take what's being given to you, and run with it. Do not let this truth go. Okay. One more script. We're gonna get First John 4:1. Okay. Let's get First John 4:1. We'll get up out of here. And before I go, if anybody got any questions, please, before we roll. Okay. Again, tonight there's no specific topic, man. Tonight on these Sunday nights, y'all are more than welcome to ask whatever you want. Scriptures, anything. Come on with it. There's no bad questions, no wrong questions. Don't hesitate to. If you want to ask a question, and you feel like that moment where, nah, I ain't gonna ask that. I don't want to. No, that's Satan trying to get you not to ask it, because there's a strong chance that there's another brother or sister who wants to ask that same thing, but they're feeling some type of way too. Satan getting on them too. So anytime, and that's not just for my class. Y'all remember, anytime you go to class in person or online, if you want to ask something, just raise your hand and ask it. Or if you're online, just ask. Please don't let that thing that used to plague us in the world stop you from you know letting it be known. Ask the question. The moment you feel like, nah, I'm gonna wait for, just ask. All right. So we're going to go to First John 4:1 before we roll. Bear with me. Hold on. Am I tripping? Oh, where's the thing at? Yeah, I ain't tripping. Okay. There we go. First John chapter 4 and verse 1. All right. First John 4:1. Beloved, believe not every spirit, but try the spirits, whether they are of God, because many false prophets are gone out into the world. This right here, everything I said tonight, go back and try it. Go back and do the research for yourself, examine yourself, and see if the wisdom of dealing with old friends and that is true or not. Go back and read the records in Proverbs and in Deuteronomy. Remember earlier I said in Deuteronomy 28, remember I was saying read the curses that the Lord said would befall us, and see and go try it. See if what I'm saying is true or not true. Because many false prophets are going out into the world. Don't believe every spirit. Don't do that. But try the spirit whether they are of God. Meaning somebody come to you and say they're of God and they got the truth. Try 'em. Where does it say that in the Bible? What you're saying, where does it say that? Try this. You can't believe everybody. Somebody come up to you, yeah, I'm a Hebrew Israelite. Yeah, we believe in God and Jesus, and Jesus is a black man. Oh, okay. So do y'all believe in keeping the Sabbath day? Yeah, well, we still, Sunday is when we gather for the Lord. Now like, oh, this nigga ain't in no truth. That ain't the spirit. That ain't of God, because the Sabbath day is not on Sunday. The Sabbath is on Saturday. Like right now, this class is called Scripture Sunday Night Scriptures. It's not Christian-y. It's just specifying this the first day. So we're getting in the scriptures on the first day. So it's like, the first day of the week, getting it in on the scriptures. That's all. The Sabbath is the seventh day. Sabbath was yesterday. So, whoever that guy is claiming to be Israel don't know what he's talking about. So you got to try the spirits. Yeah, I'm an Israelite, but everybody can be saved. Hell no. Everybody can't be saved. What you mean by that? Well, everybody meaning, all the nations. That's the fate. That's them weirdo niggas. All the people can be saved in God. No, the hell they can't. You better try that spirit. Where does it say that at? That all people and all nations can be saved? No, that ain't of the Lord. Only Israel. It says only Israel can be saved. Hell, you talking about? You gotta try them spirits, man. Everybody's not your friend. Just because they wear fringes on their t-shirts and shit, they're not Israelites. The only Israelites are in the I.S.U.P.K. The only Israelites are in the I.S.U.P.K. Hear me good. The only Israelites are in the I.S.U.P.K. Yeah, LeBron James is an Israelite. He's a black man, but he ain't conducting himself like an Israelite. He's choosing to be with the heathens. Diddy, Diddy is an Israelite by blood, but he ain't acting like it. He's choosing that world and that life, and to be with the other nations. Got to see that. Al Sharpton and them, Jesse Jackson, they're supposed to be conducting themselves like Israelites and teaching the right thing. But what did they do? We all know what they did. Al Sharpton's an informant, Jesse Jackson's a sellout, and so they're choosing to be with the enemy. They ain't Israelites. What am I saying? They're choosing to get rid of the Israelite way and this, and they're choosing to go be with them. So that's what it is. The only Israelites are in the U.P.K. All these other Christian factions and Christian-y whatever, you're not going to get the word of the Lord, the spirit of the Lord from them. All right? So I gave it a few extra minutes for any questions and all that of the water, sis. And forgive me again. I apologize, Salakia, for earlier about when it came to your name, to you and your name. All right. Hopefully I get to see y'all 2 Sundays from now. If you haven't noticed the pattern, every other Sunday I'm slaving. So next Sunday I'll be at the slave, Lord allow. I could try to get down here after I get out of there. If not, we'll have another prison officer rocking it out, and I will be here the Sunday after that. All right. So hopefully, I hope everybody's still watching. Get your questions. I'm a big person on questions. I love that. Get your questions down. I love that joint, man. Questions are heavy because it's what we're trying to do. I don't ever want to run nobody off or nothing like that. Come with the right energies and the right spirit, so to say. We'll get it in. So hopefully y'all got some more questions, man. We'll get into some heavier topics next time I'm up in here. We might do some Revelation breakdown, or we might hit that Genesis, but we're definitely going into some heavy stuff in 2 Sundays from now. I appreciate y'all rocking it out. Keep fighting fight them demons, serve the Most High. All right, keep the commandments, and we gonna get up out of here. Shalom.